Hello and welcome. My name is Andrew P860 and this is Space Engineers. My main goal for the next few sessions of these videos is to get into space and also produce some sort of outpost that allows me to stay up there so I do not have to continue to rush down whenever I want to log out. I have built a landing pad for my welder and assembler since the last time I was at a video. This assembler is building munitions for the turrets that I am now going to build. Because while I could build a ship that will send me to space, I do not want to return and find a hole in the ground where my base is. So I have to make sure I can keep people from attacking me. And for this, I am going to add 4 turrets. Not enough to deal with a full-blown assault, but enough to keep scouts from coming and looking very closely at what I'm going to do. After I build the turrets, I will start encasing my vital functions in the base in armor so that they are not exposed, while possibly adding a few glass windows to the mix so that I can still look out and still get the sunrise. And so the first thing I'm going to do is hop into my welder so that I can start building my base up. Take off recharge, take off the connector, and fly. As I do not have any thrusters straight up, I'm going to have to make sure that my welder, just like my miner, does not flip over. So I will start a turret right. I will start conveyor tubes so I can feed ammo to my turret, and I will end my turret about there on a conveyor junction. And to do so while you are in a ship, you hit Control G and it will bring up your builder menu. And then you can press G and it brings up your builder stuff just as if you were outside a ship. So, conveyor tube with a plus means it will rotate between the various different kinds of conveyor tubes, and that includes conveyor junction. So I will get that, and I will also pick up the Gatling turret, which is what we are going to add. The interior turret takes the same ammo as your assault rifles, and you cannot feed them with conveyor tubes. And then just as if you were outside, you line it up and you can keep on doing this. Oh, make sure it's lined up or gravity will take your tube away from you. Here's the second one. In order to use this, however, you must have in your cockpit the necessary stuff to start each of your build projects, just like if it was in your inventory. So I have steel plate and interior plate, so anything that uses interior plate or steel plate I can build. And then I press Ctrl G again to take it off. Turn on my welder, and as long as I have all the components in my inventory that can feed to the welder, so the welder I can store stuff, I have a medium cargo container and my connector. And small objects from my conveyor, like these computers, can move into there. However, because I have this connected to the small conveyor slots, the bigger stuff like steel plate or interior plate cannot be crossed over. So I have to do that manually outside the ship. The drawback to welding is that you don't get to see what your welder does not have in it. So I'm going to have to land here. Make sure the welder is off. It will harm you if you get too close to it. Then I'll pull out my other welder and I will check here to see what I need. And it seems that I need almost everything. But I did make the conveyor junction all the way up. So while I am at it, I'm going to start producing the things that I need. I'm going to go to large block and go into conveyor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so, looking at these components, we can add blocks to the assembler. We just need to figure out which ones we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 conveyor tubes. So, if we go in here to production, I have some stuff being built already. Just search for conveyor tube. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that it will build all of that stuff. While I'm at it, one turret is going to be there. Second turret, I believe, is going to pop out of here. Is that right? one turret will come from that assembler. I will put it up about 3 spaces up there. And this one I will also add 3 spaces. And then I believe let's see, how am I going to defend this side? I think I'm going to add maybe another conveyor tube right up there. So I'll come back to my assembler and start queuing all of that up. Adding large blocks, conveyor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will add 1, 2 more conveyor junctions so that I can add to the conveyor system later. I will go back into my welder. I'm going to turn on my spotlight since the sun is going down. And other part about using a ship welder to weld. So I can go back to my conveyor tube here. I can enable it. I can have my medium cargo container there. And then I can search for my assembler. And I can add all of the stuff that my assembler is doing. Now, while I can only carry about 4,000, I'm already at double the capacity just in my cargo container. That doesn't include conveyor system and everything else. So, while the rest is being I will go back to welding stuff. The other advantage to using a ship welder to weld things is that it has sort of an area of effect and will weld multiple things around it at the same time, as long as you have all the components necessary for it. And that is everything I need for that. Now, while I am here, I'm going to add a turret. Now, turrets fire on anything that you deem a target as long as it is in range and in its line of sight. If you have a girder or a wall like this, that will block line of sight. So if I added a turret up here, anything coming from this direction, it will not be able to see and fire on. If I put it here, I should be able to get also some ground forces, so vehicles that might be driving up to me as well. So I will go back into my build And you see there is a big red. You're unable to place it. The reason for this is because they don't want you to really put your turrets in an area where you can be. See, there I have enough space. There I don't have enough space. And I believe the reason for it is the curvature, such is the ground around it. It needs to be mined out. So I will set my miner down here, get out, and do a little bit of landscaping. Alright, now it is the spotlight of my welder that is illuminating this area. Just have to make sure that then I can go into this and then I'm going to get about 10 steel plate there. And does that work? And why doesn't it work? Okay, I believe the problem is probably right here. I'm going to turn on my personal lights as well. Now, occasionally you're going to have just a slight bit of something keeping you from doing what you want. That should work, hopefully, but it's not. My hand is blocking. Start probably widening this up because that's probably where it's clipping. Let's try that. Yep, there we go. And so I have placed it in. I'll get in, get out of building mode. And start building it up. There is my first turret. I said my second turret would come up there. And that is the second bit thing about this. if you put the turret, if you have your welder just automatically on, your welder could be welding stuff as you're placing them. Now I was going to do this. Whoop. Okay, so that's 2. And after I get the conveyors in, I'll put in the turrets. And while I'm not necessarily fond of this setup, now let's see. Little bit of ground might be what's causing this pain. So I'll just land here. Get out my drill. Pulverize the ground. Put that on, and that was what was causing it so much trouble. So, get back in, go up here. And put the turrets on. Now I decided not to add a grinder to this welding ship or make myself a grinding ship because I would like my grinder to be a little more. I like to be more in control of my grinder. Okay. Saying I'm unable to do the Gatling turret there because it conflicts with the wind turbine. So go land down here like this. Go up here. And I'm just going to conveyor to it. And because I already have ground this down, I'm just going to spend some time and put my conveyor back up. Now, because the welder is hot, I do not want to touch anywhere close to that welder. So let's see. There it goes. It was just one block too high. Now, I'll take Control G off. I will go back to my landing pad here. Turn off my spotlight. Enable the connector. Then I'm going to set this to recharge. And I'm going to get out. Now, just to make sure that the Gatling guns, this one was not completely. So I had everything I needed already for each of the Gatling guns. Now they're all built up. And they will fire at what I designate to fire at. I'm just going to go in here. And first, I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to grind down this stuff. If you forget to do that during a server clean, they might disappear and all that material is left. So I'm just going to go into this chair, this flight chair that I have, and I'm going to search for Gatling turrets. Have about everything that you want. You can tell it to shoot now, shoot once. It'll tell you the aiming radius. I'm going to get all of them. I'm going to say, put it to maximum. Now I could enable idle movement, but that does add to the processing of the game and multiplayer, so I don't want to slow things down even more. I have it targeting meteors, which if you have meteors set on your game or on the multiplayer server, it's good to get Gatling guns very soon so that you can keep your thing from destroying, keep your meteors from destroying stuff. I'm going to also target missiles so that this can be as much a point defense gun. And then small ships and large ships. Small ships and large ships. This also includes ground vehicles in both small and large. Characters, stations, target neutrals is off. So all of these will target people that I have a bad reputation for. With neutrals with peace, they can get close and I won't have to worry about them. And allies don't get targeted at all. And then I also want to use the conveyor system. So that works. Now I'm going to go into my inventory and look at my Gatling turrets. And you see they're already getting fed ammunition. And each of these containers contain 25 rounds apiece. So I go into this and you can see this is slowly working. And the reason why I have a second assembler to do just this is so that my regular assembler is still open for me to build whatever it is that I want to do. So now I'm going to go look at what will also make my base safer. And so one thing is to, of course, encase everything in armor, especially this assembler, since this is where the ammo is coming from. My battery, my survival kit, otherwise I can't respawn. My cryopod, and of course this is where I am keeping all my stuff that I have set up in my base. So I'm going to have to set up several things to make that more secure. And to do so, I believe I'm going to just start making some rooms and try to cordon some stuff off. Okay, so with my survival kit, I can easily set some light blocks. I am going to set some light blocks like this. Now I am unable to build a block there because the refinery part right there doesn't allow you to stick a block on it, and the conveyor tube will not allow you to stick a block. So you have to put some blocks like that. And I need more steel plate. So I will just go to my assembler here, go steel plate. I can't get the cockpit stuff because it's not connected, but I can put this stuff in. While I'm at it, I'm going to take out everything but the steel plate for a moment. I'm going to fly up here. At that, because I'm going to be needing a wall there. I believe. Oops. Oh, no, got it. Okay, I got that all done. I am going to add a door. I'm going to add a sliding door to this. So make sure when you're putting the sliding door on, it's in the right place. There, that has encased that part. Now, to make sure I got all of the stuff I need, I'm going to go into big, go to my sliding door, and I'm going to start assembling it. I'm going to fly back up here, get into my welder, make sure you hit recharge off before you go, otherwise it might just fall off the container because there is still no power going to any of your stuff. Start welding. I try to put it in sort of a corner. That way I can get a cup. I can try to get into the middle of 4 blocks, as that allows me to weld 4 blocks at the same time. I'm going to fly down here. Then I will add fly here. So I have everything encased, and I have added a door. But I want to make sure I can get in. I'm just going to add myself a little bit of a ramp to that, so I can get in from there. Now, the next thing I want to do is add some blocks around my armory. Oh, and that, of course, is always the problem. You have to make sure you get the right block in. Now, ideally, you want to be able to walk into your armory. And not have to go outside to do so, but as of right now, I think I'm just gonna have the sliding door on the outside until I really flesh out this base later. And that is all the time we have for and that's gonna do it for this particular video. By the next video, I will have built up my base, and hopefully we will be starting the the build. Hopefully we will be starting to build the ship that will take us into space. This is Andrew P 860. Locking in, recharging, and signing off.